We had a conversation, or a couple days ago, there was a conversation with a brand that we work with, and we weren't necessarily working with, this is a big brand, national brand. If I said the name, you'd heard of it. You would have heard of it. And it wasn't a conversation about like how we could assist them, or it wasn't about social media in any way. But we did a media program that kind of linked this big brand to social media. And we were presenting the findings and the data. And they, at the end of it, I said, "What do you think?" And this is a big brand. And the brand manager said, "Well, we don't have our MyFace strategy yet in place. We're working through that. We don't have that in place." And I certainly didn't correct her, because who knows, there may be a MyFace network out there. But what it did cause me to think about was, I remember when I was a brand manager back in the day in like 1997, and we didn't have a web page. And my boss then was in a meeting with me, and he was asked about his web strategy, and he said, we don't have, we're not in that internet, we're not in the internet thing. That doesn't really work for our brand. And I thought back, and I'm like, could you imagine any brand, any national brand, now, so that was 96, 97, 96, whatever, 10, 13, 15 years later, could you imagine a brand like investing money and not have a website? Could you imagine them not having a www. something? And I'm wondering if this will be the case for every brand. We don't have our MyFace strategy yet. Is it going to be the case in just 5 years? That's as crazy as it was my boss to say that back in the day. So what I did was I reached out to a couple people, and in particular I reached out to someone who I'd had a chance to speak with before. Jason is really well known in this space, and he works with a lot of big brands, and I asked him his opinion as it relates to this question. And he deals with brands in particular to help them kind of start leveraging this. Like, where do they start? What's your first step? He offers really interesting insight as to how you can help sell in your management, because obviously there's an issue here with management is not valuing the space, and so an assistant brand manager, a brand manager agency, someone from an agency is going to have a tough time selling this brand on the idea. How do you begin doing that? And then lastly, and this is for anybody that currently has a job, right? A job working as a brand manager, as an agency executive in media planning space, or the ad agency space, or the PR space. He used to have a job working for a PR firm. Now he has his own business. And he talks about how he did that and how he went from one opportunity to the next. And he offers some really very tangible words of wisdom that you can utilize. And it all kind of rests in this idea of, you can start something part-time. And there is to keep your eyes open, because you can actually execute it. There are ways to do it. So I think we get a lot from the episode. Hope you enjoy.